Polar bear here, just driving to work. I thought about something this morning. A lot of the defensive tactics community and self-defense community have become more vocal against the TMAs, traditional martial arts. And the main reason for it is a lot of TMAs teach linear scenarios for self-defense. You know, if your assailant does this, you do this, you know. And I'm of the same vein. I think that that's not exactly the best way to teach self-defense. I don't even go off the principle that something is better than nothing a lot of times, because if you take arts that have traditionally been shown that they need compliance to work, like Aikido, you start, when you're in that vein, if you're a student there and they're telling you to do this continually, you start gaining a false confidence, right? That said, I still think that there is a place for linear training. When we're teaching self-defense, when they teach self-defense in the military, I'm a Marine, it's all linear training to start. Everything is linear training. Step A, step B, step C. Step A, step A, you know, step B, step C. And, you know, in the Marine Corps, everything ends with a high boot smash to the head, almost everything. But that linear training then is shown how to apply in a more broad, dynamic way. So if we're learning how to block, enter, and take down an assailant in a linear fashion, when the scrum hits, if we understand the concept of how to get that individual down, if we have 3 or 4 tricks in our bag, right, and we start practicing with retraction. I know Coach Flower's big on retraction and fundamentals of movement. If we start working that type of stuff using the linear foundation, we actually can create a fairly proficient self-defense practitioner, right? Defensive tactics practitioner. You see it a lot in law enforcement too. I love when guys from the academy come into our gym that we train at, and they try to do cop takedowns, and then they abandon their training. They're not actually abandoning their training. They think they are, but they're still applying the same principles. They're just forcing themselves to use it differently. And that's something that we don't talk about when people are teaching TMAs. We jump on just lambasting them, saying scenario-based training shouldn't be linear, it needs to be dynamic, and we start chewing them up. But I think we need to start thinking a little bit more inclusively. If we want to get TMAs to progress to the modern world, a lot of them need to understand how to take their linear-based training, their archaic linear-based training, and turn it into a more dynamic and modern-based training. So I hope that made sense. I'm, you know, doing this off the cusp, and I'm trying to watch the road. But if you guys have any questions, comments, go ahead and leave them in the comment section. And have a wonderful day. Os.